Hi, I'm Becca Dunham.
And I'm Corbin Weingart.
Usually it's all fun and games in cdstv, but today we come with you with a very serious subject, spice.
Today we have a special segment to talk about the negative effects of this new drug that has been banned by the DEA. Corona, please take this message seriously, because this can negatively affect us as not only a whole student body, but also as you personally as a student. We've got some interviews today to show you, as well as a couple of words from Mr. Bell, to really just talk about how harmful this stuff really is.
I feel like you shouldn't do spice because I've heard plenty of bad things about it. Like, people have been going blind, and it's addictive, and like there's just no tests on it. I mean, cocaine was once legal at one time, right?
Well, it's just something that's bad for you. I don't understand where people get ideas of smoking this stuff. It's just as bad as marijuana.
I don't know, I just think it's very scary that so many students are choosing to do that.
It was first sold in London as spice, and it was they used a synthetic variation of THC to make it. There are several different synthetic variations of THC. I should mention that THC is the active ingredient in marijuana. So they're trying to mimic the effects of marijuana. And the drugs that we've had here, the spice that we've had here at school, when we had it tested, it came back as a drug called JWH-018. That's one of the synthetic variations of spice. The chemist in the crime lab said that variation was anywhere from 10 to 100 times as potent as THC found in marijuana. So it's powerful stuff.
Starting back in about end of September, several of the schools in the district started to see more students that were involved with spice. I wouldn't call it an epidemic, it just seemed to be a rise in the number of incidences. We've had less than a dozen incidences in all 7 schools, but starting about September we had a few issues come up, and so we wanted to make sure we knew what spice was all about and then how it would apply to our rules.
Well, we've been seeing it just this school year. In 2009, there were only 12 reports to poison control over adverse effects of spice, and just so far this year, we've had over 2,000 reports of it.
From the research I've done, they indicate the side effects could be nausea, vomiting. You could have seizures, could have hallucinogenic episodes.
Seizures, tremors, anxiety.
It just varies. It's like any sort of drug that goes in your body. It will affect different people differently, but those are some of the more common ones that people are experiencing.
It is being sold legally at this time in smoke shops and stores, and we've had some of our students buy it and use it. It is a big problem. Well, what we're seeing is we had an individual just a few weekends ago that was involved in a fatal hit-and-run accident. He was high on spice. Last night I spoke to a Mesa police officer who had a person who was hallucinating from using spice and actually attempting to kill somebody, and as a result, Mesa police almost killed that individual to stop the crime. So it is pretty serious stuff.
We're doing 2 things. First and foremost is we're trying to educate. So we want to make sure that our school board's educated, that parents are educated, and students are educated about the dangers of this drug. The second part that we're doing is we're working with several entities around the state to see if we can change the legislation, or get some legislation to change the laws in the state to make it illegal. Although the DEA just recently made it illegal, we still believe we need to push forward at the statewide level to make it illegal. If a student is caught with this a drug in their possession, then they would face a long-term suspension, and that would come out of the principal's office, assistant principal's office at the particular school they're at. If they were to be caught selling it, then they're going to be recommended to be expelled. And in that case, it does go through my office to a hearing officer, and the hearing officer makes the decision as to whether they're expelled or not.
Well, if I can say it, smoking anything like that, even smoking's bad for you, so I don't understand why, you have to get a high that way when life is just a high. So that's my opinion, and I'm old.
That's really scary and just not worth it.
Yeah, stay away from spice, marijuana, any illegal drug, because it just leads to trouble and unhappiness.
Now that you are fully informed about spice, I will be discussing the school consequences for involvement with spice. Students who are caught sharing, distributing, or using synthetic cannabis will be long-term suspended. The specific violation of the rule will be for sharing, distribution, or use of an imitation of an illegal drug. Thank you for your time in this important matter.